The following marketing information and discussion is provided for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as professional guidance or consultancy. You should find an agency for that. Comexis is a digital marketing agency, so feel free to hire us. But otherwise, just enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, welcome to The Buyer's Journey by Comexis, a discussion-based podcast on the ever-changing marketing landscape. I'm Matthew McGroarty, the social media content producer here at Comexis.
And I'm Josh Lyons, the digital marketing coordinator here at Comexis.
So today is Thursday, and on Thursday we talk about the retention phase of The Buyer's Journey. So all this week we've been kind of going a little out of order, but today we are sticking firm to our buyer's journey order, and we are talking about the retention phase. We're staying the path. So the retention phase of the buyer's journey is when you are trying to retain a customer that you've already had, and there's a couple reasons you might want to do that. So for example, if you are offering a subscription service or some sort of subscription like box or product, you want to make sure that you are getting that money every month and that your customers getting their products and that they're happy, et cetera, et cetera. And then also, say you sell a product and it's not a subscription service, something like that. Let's say you sell them a vacuum, right? Well, you want to make sure that they come back to you if, for example, they need a hand vacuum for their car or for something else, right? So you're trying to find ways to retain your customers and your clients to make sure that they keep coming to you and they have some nice brand loyalty and things like that. So today we're talking about what is kind of a rumor, but we have some solid evidence that Uber is preparing to launch a $9.99 per month Uber Eats Pass, which is according to some code hidden in Uber's Android app. So a lot of this information is coming from Josh Constant on TechCrunch. You can read his piece on this as well. So this was originally first spotted by Jane Manchun Wong, somebody who often reverse engineers different things to find hidden code. We've talked about her stuff on the show in the past as well, and also she frequently is a tipster for TechCrunch, hence the reason that we even have this article to look at. So the idea is that the subscription fee would waive Uber's service fee that's typically 15% of your order cost. Constant points out that the normal fee is typically about $5 or more, depending on your purchase. I mean, think about it. If 15% of your order, if you yourself are ordering something that's, I don't know, $20, $30, maybe you're ordering for 2, 3, 4 people, it's very easy to see how that could eventually scale up to, after 1 or 2 orders, you've already spent more than $10 on their fee. So Manchun Wong was able to generate screenshots from Uber's Android app code that reveals a prototype of the feature. Quote, get free delivery any restaurant, anytime, it says. And then it shows you how much money you could have saved or have already saved. There's a nice little image as well that I will have in the blog description. It's pretty. I don't want to say it's generic, but it just says, look at this, your savings this cycle. It shows the dollar amount, and then it explains the different benefits. So it says, get free delivery at any restaurant, anytime. What a great deal that this could be for you. Go get it, enjoy the benefits today. That's probably just test copy, but I think it does explain the topic pretty well. An Uber spokesperson spoke to TechCrunch. They did not dispute the legitimacy of these claims. They said, quote, we're always thinking about new ways to enhance the Eats experience. They did not provide any further details, which means that a launch could be coming soon, but who knows? I mean, when you're testing anything, there's always ways that things could change. Constantine points out that at $10, basically $10 a month, $9.99, the Uber Eats Pass would cost the same and work similarly to Postmates Unlimited and DoorDash Dash Pass, and points out that basically the goal here is to make it so that once you have this subscription service, you're probably gonna lock in and only use that service, and therefore it is more important to get customers to come to you and subscribe to your specific service because there's not necessarily a reason to order from the other ones if you're already paying for it on this one app, which I think is a fair and accurate point. Josh, what do you think about only having to spend $10 a month on delivery fees for Uber Eats?
I wish they had this when I was in college.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I think this is perfect for college kids because you had someone like me who, when I was in school, one, I didn't like to cook, so I didn't want to cook stuff for myself. Two, I was broke because I was a college student. And three, I loved using Uber Eats, Caviar,
Grubhub.
all those things. And you already knew that you were overpaying because you knew you had to pay the service fee and the delivery fee, and sometimes you tip, depending on whatever the situation
Well, I
is.
would hope you would.
Of
tip,
course,
Josh.
of course. But
Those drivers aren't getting that delivery fee, Josh. Keep
yeah,
that
I know.
in mind.
I know, it makes no sense. But anyway, so first of all, in terms of college kids, at least when I was in school, or at least the people I was living with, someone in my apartment, we were using Uber Eats or one of those delivery services at least 5 times a week, whether it was for lunch or for dinner. We maybe on the weekend for breakfast if we didn't feel like moving. So, I'm going to take a rough estimate at about 5 times a week, which if they're doing $10 a month or $9.99 a month to be able to get free delivery, all you really need is to use it like 2 or 3 times
And you've already
in the
made
month,
it,
and you've
yeah.
already made it back, and you basically you're saving all of this money on all future deliveries. So college me loves it, and all college kids will absolutely abuse it if it's true, because it's allegedly going to happen. So I think they will immediately, if Uber does go through with this, they'll immediately not only take a lot of the market share from these other delivery services, because also Uber is just such a big app in itself, and with all the Uber rides and the ride shares, and I've even had friends that have called Ubers and would call an Uber Eats as they are Ubering home, so the Uber Eats gets there just about the same time that they get home. So
The
they
geniuses.
they double up. So it's smart. Obviously, they're going to say that they're not going to say that it's true yet, but
They ain't denying it.
I'm
clearly.
going to tell you that it probably is, because it would be
I think it makes
dumb.
sense.
It would be dumb if they didn't go through with this. It's a great idea, and even though I was saying that it works well for college kids, it also works well for families that can't go grocery shopping all the time and want quick meals. And then it saves them, again, like you said, if it's 2, 3, 4 people being ordered for food,
You're saving
and
yourself
you're saving all this money when if not, you're taking 15% of that for delivery and service fees. So it helps everyone save money.
Yeah, once you get over an order that's like, I think it's, if I'm doing my math correctly, like any order that's over like $40 or $2 or something, that's $5 already.
Yeah.
So then like all you need is 2 of those a month, and you're done.
A month.
Yeah.
Like.
So I agree. I mean, I think this is a good service. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it other than I think it makes sense. They're obviously going to compete with Postmates and DoorDash, but it's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it expands, if it does as well as it thinks they'll be doing. And I think from a recouping cost sort of point, there's ways that they can get this money back easily by
for sure.
different things. So the second part of today's show I wanted to discuss was an eMarketer report about whether or not e-commerce can catch up with subscriptions, specifically when we talk about retail subscription services. So the Uber Eats Pass is not technically a retail subscription service, so these pieces aren't directly related. However, some of the numbers are in here are very interesting to think about, in the sense of how many people actually sign up for retail subscription boxes, and how many people are going to sign up for Uber Eats. For example, I don't Uber Eats very often. I also live in a suburb, and everything is within 7 minutes driving distance of me, or 10 minutes driving distance of me.
And you don't have to worry about parking.
And I don't have to worry about parking in the city. However, city people might find that more beneficial, such as Josh. Regardless, I want to go through some of these numbers. So, according to a January 2019 survey from YouGov, between 80 and 85% of U.S. internet users said they never signed up for retail subscription services. That can include things like beauty or food boxes, and a lot of those numbers have lapsed. So, of those surveyed, 12% said they used to subscribe to a delivery service for beauty products but don't anymore, compared to just 8% who are currently subscribed. and food services such as Blue Apron and things like that also struggle to retain subscribers, with 11% of respondents being lapsed users and only 7% saying they currently subscribe. Of course, with things like that, those are things that are obviously a lot different than a subscription fee to Uber Eats Pass. I will say it's interesting that they're seeing a lapse, and I'm wondering if it's because the boxes are not as tuned or specific to the person. So for example, like I'm sure the Makeup Pass, there's specific things that they look for, but I know, for example, with Blue Apron and food subscription boxes, a lot of times it's, here's the 3 things for the week. You have to pick one, or we'll pick one for you, like the vegetarian option, the vegan option, the not, whatever, right? Retailers and brands, only 23% of grocery subscription box subscribers found the service valuable, which was defined as beneficial, useful, and helpful. Per a November 2018 survey from Digitas and the Harris Poll, respondents were 3 times more likely to find TV and movie subscriptions valuable, and twice as likely to find music subscriptions valuable. And then in a YouGov survey, shoppers cited potential drawbacks of using subscription services. The greatest concern includes spending more money than otherwise intended, not getting the right number of products at the right time, and the shipment's not arriving on schedule, which I think makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think when we talk about food, especially when we talk about food and grocery delivery services, I think those are useful for people who have difficulty, or either physically or mentally or something else, getting out of the house or going and doing that shopping, because it's just beneficial in that regard, right? But then we have, obviously, like, if somebody's just thinking, oh, maybe I'll save a little bit of money getting groceries delivered to me. Well, what if you need, like, what if it's not actually what you need? Like, this is clearly different than I'm gonna order from ShopRite, and if ShopRite has a delivery service, I'm gonna get it the next day. This is basically a grocery delivery box, right?
It makes a ton of sense, especially when you look at the numbers. So here are my questions for you, and you'll answer. It'll be easy answers.
Sure, Josh, go for it.
Netflix. Why is it so successful?
It offers entertainment streaming at a somewhat affordable price. I mean, there's like 1,000 streaming services, but it is the big name, and they have exclusives and things like that. So it's entertainment value at a reasonable cost.
Second, why is Spotify so popular?
It's entertainment value at a reasonable cost.
What do they both have in common?
They're affordable.
Yes.
They're entertainment.
Yes.
And I get to choose at my own will what I am going to listen or watch.
Exactly. And the other thing that you're missing, which I was hoping you were going to say, but it's okay, is just that it's instant. It's right in your face. There's no wait. You pick it and you get what you want.
Fair point, my friend Josh. You are correct.
So when the respondent said that they're 3 times more likely to find TV and movie subscriptions valuable, that makes sense. That's Netflix. They're twice as likely to find music subscriptions available. That makes sense. That's Spotify.
Yeah, that's Spotify while you're at work, while you're driving.
Or even YouTube, if you have like the YouTube TV or those type of things.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that goes along with Netflix, like, because when you think about, like, okay, when are you using Netflix? Unless you're being a bad driver, you're probably not using it in your car, right? You might, in big quotes, be using it at work, but you're probably at home, relaxing, getting some downtime in, throwing on Netflix for yourself, if you have kids, for your children, et cetera, et cetera. Whoever else is in your house, maybe you have a shared Netflix account for your apartment or something like that. You're doing it because it is your relaxed time, and that is what you are doing at your house.
And you know it's there.
Yeah, you know it's there.
Like, you're paying the subscription, and you know that if anytime you are going home and you're relaxing and you're bored, and you can sit down and you know Netflix is available. When it comes to these type of services,
you don't know.
The box subscriptions, like what? So the greatest concerns included spending more money than otherwise intended. Fair. Not getting the right number of products at the right time. Fair. And guess why? Because it's not instant like a Netflix.
And you need to eat every day.
Exactly.
You need to eat ideally 3 meals a day.
And then shipments are not arriving on schedule. Fair. And that's because you have to wait for not only them to pick the items that they think are good for you that you might not even like to begin with, but then they have to ship it to you and make sure it gets to you, which could cause a bunch of problems. So
no, I agree.
It makes sense. I did think the number, I gotta find it. I think the number that was between 80 and 85% of U.S. internet users said they've never signed up for a retail subscription service. I think that's pretty accurate.
I think that's very solid because a lot of what they're suggesting are, and I mean, a lot of what they're suggesting are like, they mentioned groceries, they mentioned things like Blue Apron, things like beauty, makeup, stuff like that. Those have markets, and groceries are a huge market. I'm not gonna discuss that, but like prepared meal kits have a market for people who might want them. However, you might not want them forever, or you've learned how to cook your own food at that point because you're making these recipes over time, right? So I think you brought up a great point that I think that number makes sense to me because you there's only so many markets, and even then people could be like let's say you get the dog box, like we talked about before, the bark box. You have to have a dog. You have to be interested in a service like that. That's already two
big things that are tough.
Having a dog,
it's very specific.
Population has been significantly minimized. Want a service like that, shrunk right up.
Yeah, well, and that was the other big point I was going to make is while 80 to 85% is accurate, that's still 80 to 85% of people you can attack in other ways. There's rooms for improvement. There's ways for you to figure out what's going to make that 80 to 85% drop to 50%.
Yeah. Not to mention. Oh, God. Keep on.
Oh, that was all I was going to say.
Okay. Well, not to mention things like when we talk about grocery subscription services, which I've legitimately never heard of, but when we talk about those, their main competitors are things like Walmart, Target, and then actual grocery stores, for example, like ShopRite. I don't know if ShopRite actually offers delivery, but that's my local grocery store, right? So you have Walmart that has grocery section. We've talked about before about how Walmart is trying to do a lot of in-store delivery. They already do that. They already, not in-store delivery, in-store pickup. They already do that. They're trying to get one-day delivery or same-day delivery down, right? We have Target, who has grocery products in their store. They, through Shipt, I believe, offer already same-day or one-day delivery for groceries. Then you have services that will find your groceries that might be work in partnership with ShopRite or whatever grocery store, almost like an Uber Eats or DoorDash, that somebody will pick your groceries and then they will deliver it to you that way. So you have those subscription boxes that are probably not nearly as hand-tailored, competing against you literally picking every single thing you need and then having it delivered to you. I mean, we talked before about how when Walmart had the Alexa app for grocery stores and it said, Alexa, or maybe it was Google. It was Google. It was like, Google, buy me milk from Walmart or whatever, and it would buy you milk, and then obviously it's probably going to get shipped to you within the next day or two, right? So I do think that is a massive competition point where it's almost impossible to create a completely unique box because of how scalable these things have to be for people and how unique groceries can be.
Someone out there, either listening, one of us,
Jeff Bezos is listening to this podcast.
Someone in this agency is going to think of the billion-dollar idea to get that 80 to 85% to be like 15% of people that have never touched a retail subscription service, because they're going to have the greatest idea on the planet that gets every single person to immediately shift to, I'm getting that box every single month. And it blows my mind. There's only 15 to 20% of people that have ever touched one. So just that that huge gap of people that all you have to do is get them hooked in some way or some form. There's just so much room to make it happen.
I think mark my words on this. If I'm wrong, I'll eat a shoe or something, right?
I'm gonna put that
Please
on the
don't.
record.
You're right. 10 years from now, when I'm right or wrong, I will eat. I legitimately, now that I've actually said what I've said, and I've been thinking about it again while you were talking, I really think grocery boxes, like subscription grocery boxes, there's no way they're going to be able to beat Walmart and Target and even Amazon if Amazon gets in with like Amazon Fresh and stuff like that.
Right.
There's no way. Because if I can get same day delivery, I don't have to wait every month for, unless it's a specialty box, which to me is groceries, but it doesn't imply the generic groceries you
Right.
need. So obviously if it's a specialty item, it's different. But like just for regular groceries, like your milks, your
just
breads, stuff like that, like Walmart, Target,
Yeah, you
your
just
local
you just
grocery
pick-
store.
You just pick the
no
10
way
to
to beat it.
15 items you always get,
Yeah.
and they just get delivered to you on a cadence that makes the most sense, and boom.
Well, I mean, we've had a lot of soul searching on this podcast and idea creation, Josh. Thank you.
I want to go like.
Josh wants to be the entrepreneur that figures out how to get that 80 to 85%.
Let's brainstorm. Let's make it happen.
Well, we're going to brainstorm off the podcast so we don't get our genius ideas stolen. But that's all for today's episode of The Buyer's Journey. Check us out on Comexis.com, YouTube, and anywhere you can get your podcasts. And follow us on Twitter at @buyers_journey. Thanks for listening.